Ladies and gentlemen, I almost said good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to First Touch. We are back from vacation. It's, of course, us three, Dazerin, Dizz, and TBates. We are here on Monday, June 7th. Gentlemen, welcome. How we doing?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Glad you didn't make that mistake. Kind of corrected yourself in the middle of it. It's lovely. Been to the gym, and now I'm on my favorite podcast, my favorite talk show. So what's good, TBates? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Happy Pride Month. Today is June, and it's our first June show. So I just wanted to say that. And yeah, I got the glasses on, I think, for the first show ever. Looking kind of nerdy with my Georgetown hat on, everything else in between, so nobody judged me too much. But yeah, the Vibrant called a vacation, but I was doing a lot of cleaning, so I don't think it was vacation to me. It was more like a job.
Yeah, for me, it definitely felt like more of a job dealing with all of them than a vacation. I didn't have fun until the last day when I was riding a Classics car.
Oh wow, I had fun more than just one day, but DeMar definitely had a lot of fun on when he was in Classics Corvette, guys. If you haven't seen Classics, at Classics on Twitter, and you will find it. And he has a blue C8, and the Vibrant was in there, and he was just actually vibing.
Yeah, I was having a good time. I also had a good time when T-Bates was trying all week long to like drive the minivan that we rented out, and we finally let him drive it. And there's this one night, I don't think that video's out yet. There's this one night where we let T-Bates drive, like I think it's the same day we rode in the Corvette, or I rode in the Corvette, and we had T-Bates drive, and that was the quietest I think I seen Bates in a long time. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But
well, I couldn't talk because everybody else was talking and saying, "Come on, Bates! Oh no, don't talk!
Every time Bates would turn a corner, we'd all be like, "Oh, whoa!"
Obnoxious.
Scared of you driving, Bates.
No, there's obnoxious. That's all there was. The driving was fine.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. If you guys missed any of that, it's definitely on all of our Twitter, so go check it out to see just little clips here and there, and maybe even next time you stream, bring it up. We'll probably have a story for you. But that is the topic for another time. Right now, let's get into all the topics that we have for today for the show. First things first, Level Next just finished. We had a decently lengthy tournament with Level Next. We talked about it last week, how it was going in the championships, and then we had the championships play out over last night, or the last 2 days I should say, where at least when I got back, I know they had a Friday show. Sleeky filled in for me, and of course big ups to Sleeky, thank you so much, because he did a great job filling in. But then once we were back, we ended up doing, I think, a few of the lower round matches, and then of course the finals. And I believe our top 3 teams in order: Akron took the crown, Northwood second, and LSU was in 3rd place. So gentlemen, how do we feel about this Level Next tournament now that everything's all said and done?
I mean, my prediction, is what it is. I kind of predicted correctly. T-Bates will say, they're guaranteed the best team in the collegiate Rocket League scene right now. But yeah, when you just can't doubt Tristan. Tristan is CRL Justin for a reason, and he kind of proved it. He has so much confidence in this league, and it just shows. So I had no other results other than Akron taking the grand finals.
Nice, very basic, and you just picked the best team again.
Yep,
Congratulations.
Let's talk
Personally
about
speaking, I'm not even going to talk about them at the moment. Personally speaking, I enjoyed the event a lot. I liked the production that was put into it. It had a lot of cool aerial shots of the kickoffs or even during the game that I thought were cool. The overlay was really nice, and when they had me, Raul, and then I came on again on Sunday before the LSU game, everybody seemed like they were really excited and they wanted to really put on the best show possible for everybody, which I thoroughly loved. I also liked how it gave basically every team a chance to compete at the CRL-ish level, at the best level, at the highest level collegiate Rocket League, because CRL, it gives everybody a chance, but in reality, you gotta already be ready to play to be in CRL. So having these type of tournaments, these secondary tournaments, secondary quote unquote, because this is a major thing. I equate this like an E-League.
Okay.
yeah, in terms of like like RLCS to E League. This was like CRL to CRL E League, and yeah, I like how every team had a really big chance. You saw teams like Texas Tech make a run, which I find to be really cool. You had Minnesota, who dominated in the Big Ten, I think. I think they're in the Big Ten. My conference is a little skewed. You even have Pittsburgh in the upper bracket. So I liked it, personally speaking. And then it gave all the teams a chance. Even James Madison, a team who hasn't even made zero besides zero spring 19, which was like a lot of teams. I think it was 64, 32 teams that made that. They finished fifth. So you got to really tip your cap to stuff like that. And overall, a great show.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a great show. And, you know, one of the things, too, I got to actually correct something that hasn't even come out yet. I did an interview where people were asking me about this tournament, and there's, I think, over 900 students playing in this tournament, where I forget how many teams overall, but regardless of that, you had two competitions going on at the same time, where you had the actual tournament that was playing out, and then you had this Twitter competition, because again, the prize pool was $125,000 overall, and and 50,000 went to the schools, 75,000 went to the players. But all that money was not won through the bracket. But the school money was won through a social competition on Twitter, where schools were tweeting out using hashtags to try to get likes and interactions on their tweets and stuff like that. So it was really cool, because this creates different types of avenues, and it gets schools invested, because there's so many different ways that the schools and the players can all earn money. And I think that we've never even seen any type of tournament or an event that just gave prize money straight to the schools, right? That's just like something that's completely new. And on top of that, the way that they went about it, by not having it be, okay, if your team gets this far, you get money. No, there's things that your school can also do by making like creative content and getting interactions that would also promote that as well. And now it explains why I was being tagged in some tweets, now that I think about it. But it also was still like really cool in terms of just seeing like teams just like do what they can to get interactions. That I find that very interesting overall. So yeah, I think you know, looking at those aspects, I like that. But I do, you know, I kind of want to ask you guys in terms of that prize pool, especially like how do you guys feel about the way they went about like the schools getting money there? Because that is very different. I didn't really think about that originally.
I mean, don't players receive some sort of compensation from the school to play on their collegiate Rocket League team? I think the school is getting money for them playing is, I don't know, I think it's fine. Like I don't really have too much to say about it. I think it is what it is, you know. In my opinion, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about it, honestly.
I think it's pretty neat, personally. Because like you're saying, it really puts these schools on a platform. It gives them a chance to elevate themselves on their Twitters, especially, which is a big platform in terms of overall letting people that are about to come into college, you get to know about these programs, because they're, oh wait, everyone in this so money. Oh, you just see their tweets from people liking and stuff like that, or retweeting, and now you're following somebody who likes to retweet, and now you're seeing that school, and then you could DM them, and maybe they have a scholarship, and maybe you can compete for that scholarship. So I like that. That money as well that goes to those schools will probably most likely be put into some sort of esports room or esports facility in the back end that'll really help these colleges further themselves and into this whole entire esports scene. Not even not only just Rocket League, but all the other games as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, I find it to be really cool. You don't have to be the best team in the world to win some money out of something, which is great. But they also made it to where they still gave a good chunk of money, more money, to the teams who have the players at the highest level and who can compete for that money. So
Right.
I like it. I like both ends of it.
Yeah, I like I said, like this just kind of came to me as I was talking about it, but it just sounded like so cool to think about. Okay, I think there's always been a conversation of how to get colleges more invested in the esports overall, that a lot of people are trying to find that magic answer to. And I think that this was a step in the right direction in terms of like, you know, building that presence and stuff like that. Who knows, maybe even some people will do that TOs may do something like that for their events. So with esports orgs, and maybe we'll see how that works too. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just kind of like brainstorming because I just felt like a whole like doors open in terms of opportunities for that. But going back
Oh
to,
yeah,
oh yeah,
you
no,
can go.
ahead. Okay.
Oh. I was gonna say, we've all seen on Zero how Akron has they have their facility, but then they also have like that specific, I don't want to call it arena, but I guess this is an arena. They have they're behind glass window panes or whatever, and they play, and then they have an audience that sits out there and watches them. So eventually, but that's how money that schools make off of that. You can make that sort of arena-like vibe, and then the people who are all engaging on tweets and stuff like that, they could bring out their friends, and then you have a live audience actually watching people play, which is really neat. And there's just so many avenues the schools can go about, and it just overall increases esports in the collegiate sphere. So I love it.
Yeah, and I'm very interested to see if this really does like make things grow. But I do want to go back into like the actual tournament itself and the bracket and even the production level, because everything about that was super cool, right? They had people like Fireburner pop up to have like, okay, this is how we feel. These are our predictions. You guys came on for about 5 or 6 minutes or so. We had a little chit chat on that, and then Bates came on later to gas up LSU, talk about, oh, my Tigers aren't gonna choke. They're not gonna choke. They're here. They're ready. Bron B. And then we kind of.
It wasn't a choke. They weren't the favorites. That's the only thing I said.
That you did say that. You did say that. But they also should have probably won the series.
Yeah, they probably could win both series actually if they had just a couple not misplays. Happens though, I guess. That's why we weren't the favorites though. So you can't say we were choking. It was just fair. Yeah.
That's fair. But of course, I want to give a big shout out to Esports Engine on production side, because they brought in some really cool elements, and they really did make a lot of things work there, and they were really quick to adapt on the fly. I like the idea of the player cams and how they will have zoom ins on some players' reactions.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And also the fact that like we even had segments where Karma would do like breakdowns on specific plays, and they had the replays, they had specific camera angles, and they drew it up and made it look really nice. And that's just stuff I want to see more of anyways with Rocket League, you know what I mean? So
and that one camera angle where they sit on there, where you're all the way at the top of the stand.
Oh yeah,
and like it's so cool. I was like, ooh, let me get some tickets. Where they at? I need me some. That's a sick angle.
Yeah, exactly.
That was cool.
And of course, at the end of it all, Akron was the victor. And of course, that's where we're going to swap to our next topic, with Akron winning the Level Next championship. They ended up taking down LSU in the winners finals, and then they played against Northwood in the grand finals, and Northwood took them to 7 games, but Akron still came out with the dub at the end. And I mean, this was, some of us expected this, some of us didn't, but how are we feeling about that Akron dub?
It was expected. TBate's gonna call it basic, but he's always gonna take his Tigers, and Tigers just can't compete. I'm sorry, they really can't. They just can't compete. They can't compete. You say they weren't the favorites, all right? They weren't the favorites for a specific reason. There's just a better roster that is a lot more dominant in the CRL level, and yeah, it's Akron, and as long as Tristan's on this roster, I don't think they can get beat by anybody, by maybe Norwood. Maybe Northwood. Northwood took them to 7, so it's kind of tough. You kind of expected Northwood to be the dominant team in this region, just because all 3 of those players from Northwood have almost or have been in RLRS at some point in their careers. And in Akron, it's just Tristan. Just Tristan, but Buzz and
Tristan
are not. They're not no scrubs. They're not no scrubs. Hey, bro, chill out. Let me talk. They're not no scrubs. All right, but I'm just saying, it's just no comp.
No comp. What are you saying? You're just saying. I heard you're just saying. And I hope about the yap. And I don't give.
I heard a bunch of yap.
It's just Tristan.
Oh my god.
He's not scoring his goal, is he? No, he's not. It's Buzz over the top. Look at the hype. Look at him. Look at the machine. Look at Buzz, man. Look at it. He takes a little sip out of his water. He's just so hyped. Bye, Northwood. There's definitely competition. They got taken to 7. Or took to 7. whichever correct grammatical word for take that is version. There's one of them. They went 7 against Northwood, and LSU had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
Every single game. Akron wasn't dominating LSU either. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
If anything, DeMar, I don't know if you were casting that game, particular Akron LSU game, but would you say that LSU gave Akron a lot of freebies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like, and you got to tip your cap to Akron when you say they're winning. They're the most consistent team. They have their game plan is a whole bunch of high balls off the back glass, and then you got Buzz and Reticence zooming 900 miles per hour as fast as possible, and they're looking for demos and just creating pure chaos. And then T just fills in when necessary. I mean, they're definitely beatable, but you got to really tip your cap because they're winning and they consistently win. But to say there's no comp, that's just disrespectful to the people out there. There's definitely competition. Northwood's 1 goal away from bracket resetting. LSU's a couple aerial whips away from beating them. So I mean,
Akron still beat LSU with Tristan like own goaling like 3 times.
Those own goals were like forced own goals though. It's not like he legit like this own goal.
Okay.
They're forced own goals.
No, they're forced own goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about when the Braun 50 them right in front of the net. I don't have the clip for that. He fit them right in front of the net. Buzz tried to save it, and Tristan, they both flipped at the same time.
No, I'm talking about when Tristan's like pre-jumping Jackson, or I think it was Jackson on the sidewall, and then like just fell onto the ball and own goaled it.
That's one own goal.
That is not a forced own goal.
It's one own goal.
I mean, I'm just saying it's multiple times. His own goal, and he still won. He still came out victor, like the victor. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Like, if you could go in the series and you can just be own goal and still come out on top, hey, you got nothing to say. Like, I'm giving them props. But hey, it's just huge separation. If you're own goal and you still coming out on top, it's just different.
No, I'm not saying that you separate. You're not 4-0ing people. It's actually pretty close. It's pretty close. Just consistency and experience and confidence. Buzz and Reticence, they know their roles well, and they are very confident in what they're doing. And even if they're messing up, they have like an RLCS level of confidence, but in 0. So you got to take that into account. And it's just they execute, and they're not panicking. It's just they've been there before, and that experience definitely comes into effect. But saying it's just no comp, it's just disrespectful to the rest of the league. There's comp. There's always gonna be comp. Akron, if there was no comp, then Akron winning this would just be insignificant, and we wouldn't be talking about it. So the fact that they're definitely competition.
So for you guys, does this like change anything in terms of like Akron's legacy? Do you think that like for Akron overall, like are they one of those teams that we're always going to remember as just being like dominant? Does this tournament kind of like change that storyline or that narrative, or is it just a tournament for them?
I think it adds to the resume, definitely. I think that when you look at Akron, how much they have won in the collegiate scene, you can't dispute that they're one of the best teams to be seen on the collegiate Rocket League. So like, I think there's like a top 3 in collegiate Rocket League, and it's Akron, LSU, and Northwood. And the rest of the teams, I'm not saying like they can't compete, but Akron is just dominant. It's just dominant. Dominant. Akron's won so much. It's their legacy.
See, it's the questions about Akron, so I'm just going to disregard your top 3 nonsense you just said, and then everybody else said. So disrespectful. But Akron, for them winning this, to me, it like solidifies them as the greatest team of all time in collegiate. This is big. I'd already probably put them there after they won this previous spring, but this really just like is the cherry on top. Like as I said earlier, I really equate this tournament as like an E-League level. Like CCA Summer is also close to like an E-League level thing in my opinion. But with this might rival or maybe even usurp CCA Summer. So, and if that's the case, then you really gotta give them the credit. I mean, like this is a big prize pool, chips on the line, and they don't even have to get a bracket reset. Take the same consistency, and jerseys probably. They took the same consistency from CRL, took it a month later in in a different format, completely different system, and then they still came out victorious. And one of the most competitive collegiate rock leagues there is, version of collegiate rock league, I should say. So they're definitely like, I don't think there's any dispute that they're the best team. I think they have 3 CRL championships, technically speaking. Might be 4. I don't remember. They have a fall, 2, 3 springs. Even though one of the springs is questionable, but I'll give it to them. And then they also have this, and then they won a CCA summer, I think, one time. And the only other team that can match that resume would be LSU, but we don't have all those CRL championships, so they're definitely like they're the best, and it's just no dispute. You got to tip your cap to them. You got to tip your cap to them. I do want to say that they are. It's just quite unfortunate that they only got to play me and Jackson one time.
Oh gosh.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe one day we'll get to see that happen just once. Just one more time, just to see what could happen. But
yeah, we're gonna set up a show match.
Yeah, something along the lines, hopefully. But yeah, you got to tip your cap to them. They're the best, and I don't think it's disputable.
Okay. Well, I think I'm on board with that. Honestly, the way Akron have just been dominant, even since before I got involved with CRO, it's just been one of those teams where you're always like, okay, they're gonna win again. And when they don't, so it's surprising, but that's always just been that conversation. It's like, when is this team going to be beat? And they've been consistent with it, and they've ended up building that rapport over time.
Let me get back to our always dissecting real fast. So wait a second. How good do you think Pirates and them boys are? Since you said this is just Tristan and Buzz and Reticence, they ain't no slouches. I'm just curious.
What are you talking about? How good do I think who is?
Buzz and Reticence are, because you said Northwood, they should be on paper the best team. They got 3 solid players, and then in Akron, all they got is Tristan. With Buzz and Reticence, I mean, they're not slouches. That's what you said earlier. So I'm just curious as how good you think Pirates and them are compared to Buzz and Reticence.
I think now, speaking of terms of now and how players play, I don't think Buddy, Pirates, and Noxus play the game like to grind it anymore. I think they're really focused on school, so their skill has definitely like dipped, and maybe even their chemistry on the field isn't the best. If they're getting beat by a team that has been together for how long? How long has Akron been together? Exactly.
Northwood's been together for 1 year.
Okay, and they probably don't even play. Knowing, bro, I know the personalities on Northwood. I know Pirates ain't playing with them all the time, bro. Like, he's definitely not playing with them all the time. And I'm pretty sure Buzz and Reticence, and I'm not sure about Tristan, but I'm pretty sure Buzz and Reticence play pretty frequently together, and they've been playing for 2 years. I'm almost positive. Like, it's just a synergy thing. It's a team chemistry thing and a team confidence thing, and Akron just knows they're the best team in Collegiate Rocket League. So
so they're as good as Northwood on paper.
Huh? They're as good as Northwood on paper.
I'm just trying to figure out how good Buzz and Reticence are compared to Pirates. Because you made a whole bunch of excuses about people not playing, focus on the school, and chemistry, all this nonsense. I just want to know, are Pirates, Buddy, and Noxus individually better than Buzz and Reticence? I just need to know.
I'd say their rep is better than them.
You're still dodging the question. You'd be a great politician. I said, are they better? Individually skilled. I didn't say rep.
I don't know. Sure, they're beating them consistently. Yeah, they're better than them.
Who's better?
Akron, bro. Akron is better than them.
You still haven't said Buzz and Reticence. You're going back to Akron. That includes Tristan.
Okay, but that's not a team thing, bro.
Okay, I'm done with this. You're dodging.
It's a team thing.
You're a great politician. I'll tell you that much. My goodness, I've never seen a person dodge a question so hard. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's a good point.
I just want to put on mainstream. Buzz and Reticence are every bit as good as anybody on that Northwood team, if not better. I just want to say that right now. Okay, there we go. You can continue now.
Congratulations.
I just want to let everybody know that.
Oh, good. Okay. Moving on, because this is a perfect time for us to move on. Intel World Open. We're going to talk about that for a little bit. Who's qualified? You know, we had the first round of open qualifiers go through. I was actually, while these two were yapping, I was looking at some of the open qualifiers to see just, you know, what happened with what teams. And I found a really interesting one for the European region, EU West open qualifier number 1, the one where Team Quesos entered in. They lost. They took 4th. Only 2 teams made it out of that qualifier. It's Ados with Cookser, Dead Monster, and Arju, and the town team, Zamway, CRR, and Dorito end up taking that one. Queso dropped out when they played the town team in the qualifying match, the losers qual match.
Where's Mark Bay's team? Did he play?
In this qualifier, I don't think that this was the one that he played in. I know Mountain Game played Astro Eversax, E-Team NL with Mike Boito, Oli, even Steak Itachi. Oh, yeah. No, they did play.
Yeah, they had that played.
Where did they go out at, though, is the question. I don't even see them on here. Did they play?
Unless they skipped it.
Let me see. Oh, I see them in losers round 2. They lost in losers round 3 to Asalon, Jorus, and Matane.
That's also Europe West?
Yeah. That's
everybody
all,
in Europe West?
That's all in that qualifier.
Who the heck is in Europe East?
That's weird.
Who's in Europe East? Who is Patrick? Who is Patrick and Dazerin? Help! I need somebody to educate me on the Polska team here. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I don't know what it is. Why is everybody in Europe West? That's all I know. Why's everybody playing Europe West?
Virtuoso's team couldn't make it out of that one. I think that may be the most notable player in that. Yeah, in there. In terms of EU East. I'm trying to figure out if I don't think Vitality's played yet.
They'd be France.
Yeah, they'd be in France. Atlanta Wave took first. And
Wait,
then,
what are these two things? Do you have quals?
Yeah, I have I'm looking at them on Wikipedia. Open qualifier 1 for all of these.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yeah, I guess Vitality didn't play, right?
That's what it looks like.
What's the other great France team? Where's Monkey Moon at?
Wait, they did play. Team B, K Alpha Fairy Peak.
They lost to Raging Raccoons.
Yeah, in the semis, and they dropped to the lowers, and then they lost to Chaussette Farah and Kyrian.
Bruh.
Chuck.
What in the world happened? Wait, what happened? And then they lost to Exotic Casio and Monkey Moon.
Oh, Monkey Moon, they qualify?
Yeah. Wait.
No, he didn't. No,
they lost.
No, they lost.
Everybody
lost.
Everyone lost.
Europe.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Keep in mind, guys, we are looking at this because we were on vacation. So
yeah, I didn't have time to look at all this.
Yeah, this is definitely like fresh to us. Oh my goodness.
Oh my, the Europe, the Mickey Mouse region. Let me tell you, it's like even more Mickey Mouse now. Hey, guys, see, look. It's just like I didn't even plan it, chat. I didn't even plan for things to happen. But all y'all's great players, none of them make it. Mark Bay ain't make it out of Spain. Team Queso ain't make it out. Monkey Moon ain't make it out. Vitality ain't make it out. Stumpy, I know y'all done somewhere, but your boys from Vitality can't even make it out of the open qualifier. They're gonna have to play open qualifier too. And let me tell you something right now. There's a pickup team in America. I believe they almost swept their way through it. First Killer, Gary G in Chicago. And then you got a team Envy gonna play tomorrow. I can guarantee both of those teams will be in it. And you got Boulevard also with AJ Alvarez and Tino. That's just called consistency and greatness. There's nothing to be expected about it. Also in Canada, by the way, guys, I just wanted to point out that Squishy, J9 and Illusion they're making, along with Fresh and Rodoko and Sosa. So the team, like I said, it's just consistent greatness over here across the pond. The left side of the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, on the right side is looking a little bit shaky. So I guess you gotta give these France teams some credit though. Atlanta Wave, they were on the come up and they balled out, and then you got Raging Raccoons. You kind of maybe. Oh wait. And Kasai.
All I'm saying is, bro, you Europe definitely finna have some roster moves after this. Like,
You
these
think
are
this is gonna impact roster moves? It's a
absolutely.
best of 3.
I don't
Like,
care what it is.
It's a best of 3.
That's
This is gonna
embarrassing.
implement roster moves.
Okay,
Some
so
of these rosters are doing it for fun.
fun.
100%.
There's money on the line.
100%.
There ain't no reason to be no fun. If you're doing it for fun, then if
100%.
you're doing it for fun, then you might as well not even be playing. It's embarrassing. Cause on this show, as long as you show up and you sign up and you play, I ain't gonna give you the fun excuse. It ain't happening. The fans ain't gonna give you the fun excuse either. If you out there performing on the field, if I see your car name, if I see Mark by 8, if I see Monkey Moon, I'm gonna talk about you. And I'm not the only person that's gonna talk about you. I'm surprised Reddit wasn't on these boys. That's crazy to me. See, they always give the Europeans an excuse on Reddit. My goodness, if Garrett in Chicago had lost in first killer, let me tell you, Envy didn't play, and people are wondering why Envy ain't play. Are they breaking up?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
no, that is wild to me. That actually is wild to me. And yeah, I don't know if we really saw anything, like no specific threads about this that came out. There was obviously the event threads that happened.
Oh, wait, Ground Zero lost?
Uh-oh.
Ground Zero lost.
What was
Ground
what was CJ on the show talking about last
Ground
week?
Zero. They lost to Wildcat Caveman and Spy Doji.
Oh,
Or Spy Dog.
yes.
Yeah,
and then they lost the Banana Head Scrubbed and Super Latchy. And you mean to tell me, CJ, that Ground Zero is arguably the best team in the world, and they're losing to Spy Doji or Spy Dog, whatever the heck his name is. Sorry, I'm missaying your name there, Spy Dog. No, that can't be happening. I don't care if you're playing a best of 3. If you're best of 1, I'll give you a little bit of slack. But that is unbelievable.
Cringe Society did better than Ground Zero in this bracket.
But they didn't make it.
They didn't make it either.
They didn't make it either.
Wait, did CJ playing this?
Oh,
hold on.
See him.
CJ?
Maybe CJ is a qual too.
Yeah, maybe. See, CJ took the weekend off. Took the day off. He's on. Oh wait, no. He's in there.
He's not slipping. He's not slipping through the cracks.
Sassy Dubs.
CJ, you also lost to a dude called Banana Head. That's just embarrassing.
And he had Hawk on the team. Oh, Hawk's good too. That's crazy. He had Hawk
Oh, y'all are embarrassing yourselves. That's crazy.
He's throwing shots.
Just saying.
Hey, it is what it is, though. So I wish y'all got nothing but the best in these qualifiers this week. Everybody that's not named America and Canada, y'all need help. Oh wait, hold on. I know another region that's gonna be just fine. Let me get there real fast. Where are they at? Middle East. Sandrock Gaming. You already know they called. That's just life for them. There's just 3 consistent. There's 3 consistent in this world. America being great, Canada being great, and then Middle East being great. The rest of y'all are suspect.
You said Canada?
Yeah, Canada. The 2 teams you expect to make it out of Canada made it.
Falcons didn't make it in Middle East.
I mean, it happens. You only expect one team to make it out of Middle East. Falcons gonna make it eventually, but you already know Sandrock was gonna make it, no problem. He's giving y'all the facts. Oh, and UK is also consistent. I know my boy Nolan made it, and I believe Breezy and EXO team made it too. Let me check.
Yep. Flame Breezy EXO made it.
Yep. Yeah, I already know Nolan was gonna make it.
Archie.
That's expected. So
that's good.
Oh, Germany's also good. RizX, Tox, Catalysm, Freaky T, Greg Gottsmiller. I mean, some teams know how to perform in the best of 3. I don't give people excuses. Just because the best of 3, you're the best in the world. You're supposed to win. Just that simple.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, format here. You talk about best of 3. Is that an excuse?
I think it's important. I think best of 3 is important to point out. There's a reason why best of 3 isn't implemented into any like huge competitive thing, or it would. It's definitely important. Like there's momentum swings. There's people who come into. I feel like Europe has so many upsets just simply due to the fact that no one respects. Like they respect, but they don't fear them at all. They don't fear top players at all. Like they're just like he bleeds the same. He plays the same. He plays the same game. I'm looking at the same game as this man. I don't care what his name is, what his rep is. I'm going to beat him, right? And then if you go to North America, I'm like, bro, Garrett, Bro, first killer, Chicago, all on the same roster? Nah, bro. Like, people are shaking, bro. They don't know how to go for the ball. They don't know how to jump for it. TBates, don't be looking at me like that, bro. Just because you beat FaZe one time, bro, you would be shaking against Gary G. 100%. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at it. Tell me you're not. Tell me
I
you're
don't shake. I don't freeze. Yeah, hey, you might be speaking for just yourself. I'm telling you right now.
Myself.
No, nobody's shaking. When you get up against that competition, you got that dog, and you don't matter who on the other side of the field. So if Europeans actually think like that, I'm gonna give Europeans some credit. Good stuff. And Americans actually think like that, I'm a little disappointed.
Look, this is coming from the same guy who got O2'd by XSET and then said it wasn't a full series. That's a best of 3, TBates. You got 2-0'd. You got 2-0'd. And I didn't play a full series. I
was going in expecting the best of 5 though. If I went in knowing I got to play best of 3, you prepare differently.
I mean, you still got to win a game. Like take one game, TBates.
They scored at 1 second left. Like,
yeah. They still won. They still scored.
Also, timeout. These teams that have playing the IWO have probably scrimmed at least a little bit together. Ali hopped in fresh out the shower and to play 2 games.
They scrimmed.
I know Noli's team is scrimming.
I hope some of them are scrimming, but
there's definitely some IWO scrims happening, especially within the last week. They've had off.
Yeah, I kind of wish I got in on some of those.
Come on. There's definitely IWO scrims happening. I'm not giving anybody an excuse. Hopefully, for Europe's sake, your boy Monkey Moon, y'all's Lord and Savior makes it out of France. Because if he doesn't, if Vitality doesn't either, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this qual 2 might be a little interesting. It might be a little interesting because we have some teams that just didn't make it, and I'm a little concerned.
Saying that everybody's gonna be ready tomorrow if Envy don't make it. But see, I always have the excuse that Envy didn't play in the first qual. They don't have 2 qualifier chances. But see, I don't have to worry about that because I know Envy's gonna make it. So.
Right, because Miss went on vacation with us, and you saw the chef and the machine get together.
That's right.
There was a little game plan that was being cooked up. That's all I'm gonna say right there. He was trying to tune him up. You
already know the vibes.
Bro, y'all better be watching that bracket for Envy tomorrow, because it's either gonna go 1 or 2 ways. If they don't make it, all eyes on TBates. If they don't make it, all eyes on TBates.
Also, 2 signing up, and I'm not going to be scared when I'm on the pitch. That's all I'm gonna say right there.
Okay, let's move on. I don't want to hear about
Austin. You better not.
I'm about to be dropping the most points on the
field. Turn up.
Nobody wants to hear about Austin too. No, but the Austin too.
I guess you don't want to hear about greatness.
He's just mad he's not on the field. Yeah, he's just mad he's not on the field.
Right.
Greatness. You don't want to talk about the greatness.
They don't want to talk about greatness. Like, I get it. So
it's okay.
Man, y'all get so happy talking about yourselves. Can we talk about AlphaKep?
You want to talk about? We're not even done talking about IWO yet.
Yeah, bro. Why are you rushing?
We have something else to talk about.
Yeah, we have our next question is, will this event live up to the hype? Based on what we've seen around it so far, obviously when Intel World Open was first announced, it was huge, big thing. It's obviously had a couple of changes over the the past I guess even year now since it was announced last year. But do we think that this is going to be something that's super exciting? We're starting to see people fly in. I know we've had Jarb Jam, who's been in Poland, recording a lot of video content and showing around him and F-Dot hanging out over there. But what do we think now? Like, especially after these qualifiers, is the hype there?
I think so. You got a bunch of random teams, not random teams, but teams that are pickups squads making it. You got a bunch of teams that you didn't expect making it. This proves that there's like synergy in between players, like friendships and who they bond with. And then if they're good with those players, then maybe you're right, DeMar. Maybe we will see a couple roster moves in the offseason just based off how fun they have playing with the players that they're playing in IWO, especially in the European side of the world, because there's so many different rosters that we just didn't expect at all, like Queso just getting beat out, Vitality getting beat out, et cetera, et cetera. On the North American side of things, there's just squads that are like dream teams, like the Garrett First Killer Chicago. That's a dream squad that a lot of people are just have high hopes for, and a lot of people just want to watch play. So I know TBates has them as his #1 seed, even though he has MV as like the 7th best team to ever play the game. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I think it's gonna live up to the hype.
I got some news from my boy Stacks RL. Yeah, he
Okay.
let me know that Petrick was a sub in the early seasons of RLCS. Then he was in the rival series some season or another with Calix and Ocelon. So that's what Petrick is for Europe. I think that's Europe North or Europe East that he qualified for. With that being said, that in terms of the hype, for the way that is formatted, I mean, it's obviously not going to be able to rival the initial announcement when it was supposed to be land and all that. Like that would have been crazy. But the way that it's been announced this time in terms of the regions and all that, it's definitely going to be hype because I think a lot of people want to see Sandrock versus them boys in Europe, and then it's also a give. Kind of like what Level Next has done for the collegiate scene in a way. It's gonna give these players who don't have the rival series anymore, or something along those lines, or like a proper or like the RLCS season didn't like favor them, but they didn't have enough time to really get going. It's gonna give these teams and squads an opportunity to make a name for themselves, especially the further along they make it in the bracket. So in Europe and in America and Australia, even with Banana Head or Banana Boy, whatever his name was, beating all these great teams, he's it's definitely gonna help them their prestige and elevate their overall rep in the scene. In terms of matchups, I mean everybody wants to see Garrett Chicago first killer versus Envy. That like needs to happen. That's why Envy needs to make it. They gotta make it. Everybody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see if Monkey Moon, Mark Bay, and extra's not playing. If Monkey Moon and Mark Bay can perform without being on the same team, if you want to see if Team Queso can be the best team when there's not certain teams, you want to also see just how good Vitality are. Because if they're losing a qualifier and they're also looking shaky in RLCS, they might be the team we're looking to in terms of overall roster change. They might be number one in Europe. So it's gonna be exciting, and it's not gonna have that same land hype, but it's definitely gonna still be hype, especially if a team like SRG makes it. Because oh my god, if SRG makes it and they play any of those European teams for like the championship or something, it's gonna be looking even more smarter than normal. That's all I gotta say.
Why are you saying if FR or SRG makes it? Don't you have them guaranteed to make it?
To the championship?
No, I'm saying, like, yeah,
To the
out of
grand final?
You have them as like a top 3 team in the world.
No, I
Don't
don't.
you, Bates? Not anymore. What's changed?
That was with stipulations. Do I need to remind you about those stipulations were?
Stipulations.
It was a month. It was a month all in the same area with practicing against the best teams in the world scrimming.
Stipulations.
Potential wise, they can be there, but it's just they're not a top like 4 team in the world. Like what? That's just disrespect with the other teams that are playing. Hello?
Take stipulations.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, a lot of ifs.
There's no ifs. That was the whole point of that list. It wasn't if.
Okay. I was just curious.
Try to catch me, but you're just not catching me. You're gonna have to try hard a little bit.
I mean, all right.
So I think the event will live up to the hype. There's definitely a lot of storylines to keep track of in terms of the teams, who's playing where, and definitely as you're gonna see. I'll be interested to pay attention to whether or not this does have an effect on the offseason. There's a potential here for that too. We've already started seeing roster moves happen, and that brings us to our next topic. We've had one of our first roster moves in North America for the offseason. It is AlphaKep, and XSET made a tweet on June 1st, and I'm going to read it out to you guys in case you missed it, you just weren't aware. XSET said, "Today we part ways with AlphaKep. AlphaKep has played a crucial role in XSET's growth over the past year, and we thank him for everything he's done for us. We wish him all the best in his future endeavors, and we will miss him." So, XSET dropped AlphaKep. What are our thoughts?
Sheesh. I mean, it's just I feel like Loki is like out of left field. I feel like a lot of people kind of had this in the back of their head that if XSET were to make a roster move, it would be Kep. From what I know around the community, Kep brings a decent amount to a team other than like gameplay wise. He brings a lot more to the table. But I don't think that's what people kind of value anymore. In a way, it's still valued, but it's not like you need to bring a lot more than just extra things. Like the gameplay on the field needs to be there. And if XSET wants to propel themselves into a top 8 spot, top whatever their goal is, then finding a better replacement, if there is a better player on the market to fill in that spot, then it is what it is. But it was super surprising because I felt like the my opinion about Kep, I thought he was just this leader who was super positive and kind of kept his team on track, and that's somebody that you definitely need. So if XSET needs to fill that in, they need somebody who's definitely mature enough to kind of keep their heads on straight.
Interesting. Interesting take. Well, see, I have several things I want to say. First, I just want to state that the RL scene, it's very volatile. Unless you're on one of those top upper echelon teams, nobody's safe. And that's just the way it goes. And to be honest, there's not much, it's not like a set criteria that determines if somebody's going to get cut or if they're going to make a team from free agency. It's just all based off of players' opinions on you and your own teammates' opinions. And it's so nobody's safe. And for a player like Kep to be released from the roster, it just shows you that you still always got to be in the grind. And Kep grinds every single day. We all see that. He's got some interesting TikToks, but I mean that's all him. I'm not gonna down my brother on the brother game. But in terms of just pure Rocket League, he's a solid player, and he definitely brings leadership, some great comms, and probably a upbeat vibe to his team. With all that being said, though, my second point I wanted to make is that it seems that XSET, they want to be the first. They wanted to jump the gun, and they want to have the best chance of getting a player like Percy, just off of who I think they can out there at the moment. And if you look at it, stats wise, gameplay wise, Percy looks like the better overall skilled Rocket League player than AlphaKep. This is no disrespect to AlphaKep; they're both great players. So, and say XSET waited a little bit, and then Percy's off the market, then they might think that they might not have the best chance of competing at that highest level or reaching that next level. AlphaKep, they might think they've had plateaued, and Percy, they might think they have a higher chance, a higher peak per se. Even if the floor is lower, Kep might have a better floor than Percy in terms of like leadership and keeping everybody together, as Ro was saying. Percy might bring them the higher peak, and that's probably something they want to try to get. So, I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and that's just the way I look at it.
That's interesting. It's very interesting. For me, I think that I don't know. I have to be honest. I'm a bit upset about it. I'm a bit upset about it because when you think of XSET, Kep is the most vocal person on the team in terms of like social presence. I'm not gonna talk about in the game, but I'm gonna talk about outside the game. Whether it's on, like you said, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Twitch, Kep is everywhere for XSET, and I think that a social presence does not define in-game ability in the league, and that's totally understandable. But I think that AlphaKep, I think that it's just kind of like it's a bit risky. It's just a bit risky because you don't know. I understand the want to grab a player like Percy, understanding okay, he's on the market. He's really good. We've seen him play. A lot of people have always said like he's one of if not the best on Alpine. So when he's out there and he's available, I get that the want to grab them. I think I'm just a little concerned with how quickly it was done. I just mainly because I don't know if they've like had too many like chances to try out. There hasn't been any events for them to really like play in. XSET, and like if XSET are going with Percy to make a move, like that's one thing too. Like it's not even confirmed that like Percy is on XSET yet. This is just kind of like that's what's the most likely thing that's going on right now. So for me, I don't know. I always feel weird when I see teams just give up on an individual instead of trying to work through it, because we've seen that level of success happen with teams that have stuck together for a long time. And I don't know if, and my prime example will always be BDS in that regard, but I don't know if for XSET, was the AlphaKep that big of an issue? Like, was it that big of an issue that they needed to make that move? Because it looked like, especially towards the end of the season, that they were getting better. Like, am I wrong with that?
They look the same.
Yeah.
They just had better results. They just were winning series. It was the same gameplay. Nothing was really changing. It's just they eventually ended up winning. Hoxer has returned more to being like Hoxer, and as he elevates, that's going to give you a better chance of competing. But it's just
right.
When you look at them, they're not ever going to say they're going to be top 8.
Yeah,
they might finish top 8 or something in a tournament. They might have done that in regional 3. I don't remember.
I mean, I disagree. I think they were a better roster. I think Hoxer came into his own, and that is what propelled them forward. At the beginning, when Hoxer first got picked up, he was not playing as you would expect, as I would expect playing with Hoxer. Hoxer was next up when I was on the roster with him. Like, he was the kid. He was that kid. He was the dog, and that's what I expected to see when he first joined XSET, and it took him a little time to get back into the swing of things. But when he did, XSET propelled forward. I think they played way better by the end of the season than when they first started. So I disagree. I don't think they were playing the same. I think they definitely improved a lot.
When I say the same, I mean they're not a top 8 team, no matter whether he's playing great or whether he's not playing great.
There's no difference separation between the top 16.
9 and 16. That's all like the same.
It's not.
The prize, what? The prize money,
how is it the same? How is the 16 team the same level as
there are teams that are like outside the 20 that get paid more money than teams that
doesn't
12.
mean there doesn't mean they're equally skilled as that team.
It's like all the same skill level.
No, it's not.
It's like
how do you say that?
There's like literal micro differences between those teams.
There's micro differences between the 6th place and the 1st place team, bro.
That is not true.
They're not that far apart, TBates.
There's micro differences between energy and phase. Energy and phase. There's micro differences.
Yeah,
micro.
Bro, you are actually oblivious.
That is crazy.
Actually oblivious.
No way you're saying that. There's definitely it's way closer between like a team like XSET and what's like a 12 team Oxygen, like XX Oxygen United. Then those teams are definitely all closer than NRG and FaZe are. Are you serious? There's no way you could think of, like, what? That's such a bigger gap. Hawks are playing his best Rocket League, still doesn't propel them in the top 8 with that roster. And that's why I said they're the same. Whether you're finishing 9th or 12th, that's the same thing. What is that, extra 1,000? Extra 300 each?
Okay, you're comparing money to skill. Like, it doesn't make sense.
There's no difference between 9th and where you're finishing 10th or 13th.
At all. A 9th place team making the same amount of bread as a 12th place team means they're the same skill level.
Okay, let me read you.
Here's the Rocket League.
Let me read you the 9th through 12th teams out of the entire season. So Alpine at 9th, V1 at 10th, XSET at 11th, Ghost Gaming at 12th.
Yeah, they're 11th. They're not even 9th. And I would still like, it doesn't matter how well that roster plays AlphaKep, I would never, ever believe that they're better than V1. So like, they're capped. But so it's nothing against AlphaKep or anybody on the roster. A roster change for them to make it to the next level, you got to pair Hoxer with either Kep or J Power. It really didn't matter in my opinion. But Hoxer has to play his A game, and you got to get a better player. It's for them to actually be able to compete at a legit top 8, even maybe top 6 level. There are tiers to Rocket League. That 10th through like 16th, that 11th through 17th, whatever you want to say, that's a lower tier. And even like the 7th through 10th range, that's a different tier too. I'm not gonna say XSET and y'all are on the same level. Like, what? And it's definitely not a marginal difference because y'all are way more consistent than them. So it's either you're discrediting yourself or you're giving them way too much credit. And that's why I say it's the same. They could have always had that one run or like the grid run. Like, that just happens. There's a couple of bouncers are going away, but nobody's expecting you to win. There's a reason they went out, I believe, first round on the grid. When they made it, when they had that great regular season and grid in the last one, they went on first round. Nobody thought they were going to do anything. Nobody expected it. And it's just like, okay, there was winning series, or a couple of bouncers, they're winning game 5s. Congratulations. Nobody was worried about them. So I don't even, that's the same tier. If not a little bit lower of a tier. There's tiers of Rocket League. You got 1 through 6, with the 1 and 6 definitely being the biggest gap. You got 7 through 10-ish. That's Sonic's V1. those type of teams. Then you got 11 through 16, 11 through 17. That's another tier. And after that, then you got bubble. Whether you finish in 16th or 12th, that's no difference, brother. That's a bounce.
No difference.
That's when you're finishing 16th, you're avoiding envy. When you're finishing 12th, you get to play somebody else on your level, Oxygen. Oh wow, we finished 12, guys, because we got to play envy one round later. Congratulations, we're so much better than them. Oh my gosh. That is just mind blowing that you would say that.
I'm not even on the field, and I kind of feel pain when I hear Bates talk about that, bro. That boy is coming out with knives, man.
It just doesn't make sense. I would not feel pain if Bates was talking like this. It just doesn't make sense.
I really hope. See the fact you're saying. I really hope that all these teams that are like in that 12 ranges, if you finish, I really hope y'all aren't patting yourselves on the back thinking y'all just like that much better than even you're 11th than other teams 15th. I really hope you're not. Okay, so that's just you're never gonna make it to the top. It's just not happening. Garrett G would never pat himself on the back if he's finishing 11th. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. He does not pat himself on the back.
I hope no one's patting himself on the back for being a 12th place team.
Yeah.
That's why they made them. That's why they made the change, because they're the same. They felt like they're the same. If they actually felt like they're improving, they wouldn't have made the change, Raul. That's the point
there could be there's way more to a roster than improving, bro. Improving. There's mentality. There's everything else, bro. We don't know how Kep was like in comms. We have this perception about Kep on how he is in comms, how he's this positive guy.
He streams his games. It's not a perception.
It streams his games where?
He used to stream all his games all the time.
Okay, he used to.
AlphaKep is not on the field. Okay, he's a really, really, really mechanical Rocket League player. It's definitely comms, and I'm pretty sure he's doing perfectly fine in that aspect. If they actually felt like they were improving, they wouldn't have made a change.
Okay, because there's both sides have a point here. I think that although I do like, of course, like, you know, my whole stance is like, I like teams to work things out. But that being said, I understand a team making a change because everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be the best. Even Kep wants to win. We know Kep wants to win.
He wants it.
He wants it. Like, and so that's why I'm a little heartbroken about the announcement. But that doesn't mean his teammates also don't want to win as well. And for them, they made that tough decision that, okay, maybe we have to do something else because this isn't working. And they got frustrated and they made that decision based off of that. On the other side of things, I do think that there is also that, you know, there is something with actually working together, and Raul knows this better than anybody with the Sonics, in terms of you have these things that go on with the team in terms of team mentality. Everybody has potential to be one of the best in the world, but it's about coming together and actually working through a lot of issues. Sometimes it's just mentality. You can make that face all you want to. People
that is an incorrect statement. Everybody does not have the best. Everybody does not have the. Everybody
has the potential.
Everybody does not have the potential to be the best team. That is a lie. You are lying on the Rocket League Twitch. That is a complete.
That is not a lie. Then take off your headphones because it's the truth. That's absolutely the truth.
Growling.
These people have that mentality and that drive and actually work to get better at the game and do that. So you just telling me people shouldn't be playing in the RLCS? That's what you're telling me then. All these bubble teams shouldn't be playing at all.
Everybody does not have the potential to be the best in the world, bro. That is not true. That is not true. You cannot tell people that.
Yes, you can. When we sit here, we have all these players in the league that make a name for themselves. Even in the 1v1 scene where you have players like Ashley who plays with one hand and balls on RLCS pros.
First off, he's an anomaly. Second off, that's a 1v1. We're talking 3v3.
No, we are not talking about. We're talking about the best players in the world. That's what we were talking about.
Oh, everybody has the potential to be the best player in the world or the best team in the world. Cause I thought we were talking about teams. You're talking about players. No, yes. Yeah. Everybody does have the chance of being the best player in the world. You're talking about teams. That's not true.
I'm not gonna sit here and say, freaking Stromboli have a potential to be the best team in the world to beat NRG.
Oh, you're talking about best individual player.
Yeah, I'm saying these people can get together.
There you go. That's much better. No, not getting together. Best individual player, everybody has a chance. Best team, that's not true. That's not true. Everybody's not have the chance to be the best team in the world. That's not how it works.
How does it work then?
You get 3 of the best players in the world, and then you have the chance of being the best team. You do not get some average Joe team and try to make it happen, and you tell them you have potentially the best team in the world. It's not going to happen. You have a cap.
A cap? What's the cap?
Probably like Sonics. No offense.
But
to
how do
y'all.
you know? You just don't. You genuinely don't know them sometimes, though. That's why you make these teams, so you find out.
Yeah. And then you see those teams that just don't, they're just stuck. They're stuck the whole season. They're stuck. There's just that level to it, bro. You know why Energy and them boys beating y'all? Because they have 3 better players. And they're doing the same thing y'all are doing.
They're beating people because of consistency.
Yeah, because they have 3 better players.
They're a more consistent roster.
Everybody put in the same work.
They're more experienced.
They're more experienced.
If anything, some of these bubble teams put in more work.
But they don't have the experience. That's the difference. It's game day.
This isn't land, bro. This is online, bro.
It's a competitive match. It's a tournament match. You can play rank with your teammates all you want to, but if you ain't playing tournament matches, you have tournament experience.
How long has the season been?
That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant.
Oh, that's irrelevant now. A year-long Rocket League season doesn't give you experience.
Not when you play against teams that have been playing for 2 years and more.
You understand top teams only scrim top teams. How do you get better if you're not playing top competition?
How do you get better?
Top teams stay consistent because they play each other. They don't play down.
They don't have to play down there, but we're not talking about
exactly. But I'm saying bubble teams won't catch up because they can't play against the top competition
until tournament day.
Exactly.
You talk about the season being this long.
They won't catch up.
Think about it.
But y'all are coming to my point that they don't have the potential to be the best team in the world. It don't work like that.
What? What are you even talking about? First of all, what we're saying is the only reason top teams have an advantage is because they've been playing together in the top of the league for the longest amount of time. Just because, think about it this way. We have how many regional tournaments in this year? 9 regional tournaments. You have 9 chances to play against NRG when you haven't scrimmed them at all. And then you might not even get a chance to play them in the bracket because you got to play another team that you also haven't scrimmed, that also scrims against NRG. They are on a completely different level.
What is your point? I just want to know what your point is, because it seems like you're deviating. What's your point?
I'm not deviating. Why don't you actually let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can ask me questions when I'm done. What my point is that if these teams and these players play against each other for this amount of time, yes, it is very hard, not impossible, it is very hard for a team that is just forming to actually be able to play at that level. But that doesn't mean they can't do it. You're just going against a system that obviously caters to the top. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but it does mean that, it's a slope. You're not going to just come out of nowhere and be the best, but that doesn't mean you don't know that a player can't be the best. They just have to get the experience.
You went to the player.
No.
I said that as a team, because we were talking about teams. I mean, I don't know how you got to individual players. We're talking about teams. As a team,
I am talking about teams, players and teams. Like, if a player wants to improve, they have to get experience against top teams. They don't get that many chances to do that over the course of a season, which went back to your point of how long the season is, because that doesn't matter, because you only are getting a chance to play against NRG maybe 9 times, not even 9 times, because you have to run into them in a bracket and you got to get there. It's levels to stuff like that. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's levels.
I don't know what point you're making. You're all over the place. You're all over the place.
I guess I'm all over the place. No, you just don't know how to listen.
Oh, I'm listening.
Brodus, do you hear what I'm saying?
You're not making no sense.
I mean, even if we're talking about top teams, I don't think it's definitely not impossible to beat a top team. And I've gone back to the point.
Impossible to beat?
To beat.
To be.
To beat.
Beat.
To beat. B-E-A-T.
Yes. Win against.
What?
But then if you beat them, you can do it again. Like, it's not impossible.
Nobody said that was impossible to beat them. Can we move on, bro? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like, what's up with him?
Oh my gosh. Y'all are making no sense.
What is up with him? I'm genuinely confused.
Nobody said it's not impossible to beat him a singular time or even twice.
Do you not understand where this leads into, or do we need to spell it out?
If you're beating them once or twice, you're not a top team. You just means you beat them.
Duh. But
the chances of a bubble team becoming one of the best teams in the world, if you already don't have some of the best people, BDS is, you're gonna try to use BDS as an example. That's a wrong example. He had a dude who was number 1 and 2s for 5 seasons straight. that's not a regular player. He was already one of the best players in the world, and you got extra with experience. And you have Mark Bain, who's also cold. Bubble, you can't just form a bubble team and then practice for a year. A lot of teams have been playing for a year and they just stalemate. It's all about individual skill, and then you improve. teams have
This is
caps.
just like it's just like we just witnessed like the whole entire like rival series and everything else for no reason. Okay.
Yeah, how many teams in rival series have actually done something? Tell me.
You know how many players are in top teams because of
You're
the
like,
rival
what you
series?
want to play? I'm talking about teams. TEAMS. Do I have to spell it out for you?
Do
It
you know?
won't
No,
happen in
wait.
North America.
So
It
first
can't
of
happen
all,
in North America.
How many in Europe?
Well,
How many anywhere? How many rival series teams have done something in the league?
how many
series
rival
is
series
gone,
players
bro.
are on top 5 teams?
You're talking about players again.
Because
Move on.
obviously there's
I'm done.
roster
I'm done.
changes.
I'm done. I'm
Okay,
done with
yes,
this.
yes, be
I
done.
moved
Be
on.
done.
I moved
Because
on.
you clearly don't understand.
This is
Like, you know how many people came up from
We've
the
been talking
rival
about this
series?
for like 40 minutes. Can we move on to Coaching? Please.
Yeah, because I'm just talking to a wall. Okay. I can't. All right, we're just gonna drop it. We're gonna move on to Cuxer leaving Wolves Esports because that was the other hot roster news that happened over the course of the week, where we had again, it was just one of those things. Did Cuxer leave this or did he get dropped? That's the only thing I didn't actually figure out.
I believe he left. I don't know. I think he left. He might have got dropped though. I don't know. The wording's weird.
After a 3-month period with the team that covered the spring split of the RLCS season, former world champion and legend of the game, Francisco Cuxer 97 Chicamani, is set to depart the Wolves Esports Rocket League team. I'm not going to read the entire article. I'd like to thank Cuxer for his efforts and put it on record. I was happy to have the opportunity. This is from the coach, from Michael Moriarty. I think that's Doug. As our Rocket League team moves into a different direction, he is set to move on, but during his brief time, he's helped the Rocket League team immensely with his experience and dedication to the game. I wish him all the best for his future and will be watching in his continued efforts in Rocket League. Yeah, so yeah, the wording is definitely weird. And then they talk about Cuxer playing for his IWO team, ADOS, which we know has qualified in the Western European closed qualifiers. So, or he's qualified for the closed qualifiers, which is set to take place in June 22nd. So what do we think?
We're saying he left, right? He left? He left Wolves?
The wording's weird. Wait. Yeah. The wording's weird. It doesn't really say who did what here.
Well, if he left and he's making impacts on the EU scene in IWO, we can only assume that he's not done playing and he's gonna be on another roster here soon. I don't think we've seen the last of Cuxer, so I'm assuming he's just gonna keep playing. I'm assuming he's not doing IWO for fun. He's not one of those rosters that are doing it for fun. He's taking it serious and he's trying to find a new team or even make himself known that he still has it. Well, all props go out to Cuxer for, I mean, he's one of the old heads that have been in the scene for so long. One of the players with the most experience. And I think he brings a lot to the roster still.
I think it's got a good team with Dead Monster and RG. I think that's the.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I think he just left. I believe he was looking for a team 3 months ago, and he just got on Wolves, and it was just yeah, it was just like a temporary situation for him. And then now he's gonna move on and pick another team he likes to play with. The all Italian team. I mean, they've already even in best of threes. I mean, they're doing DCLA and the IWO, and if I'm sure they perform even more than that, then that's probably gonna happen. So, and Cux and RG have performed together in the past on Mouse Sports, where I think they finished third in the spring last year. So they definitely have a resume, and with that, they're probably gonna make some waves.
Yeah, no, I think Bates is right on this one. The way this is looking for Cooks, everything kind of seems like, you know, this was something that both parties kind of like benefited from. So for me, it's just like, okay, I can totally see Cooks being on another team very soon, and it does look like the IWO team is doing really well. I'm trying to remember what team Arju's on. I'm having a tough time with that, but yeah, regardless of that, I'm very interested to see where Cookser ends up, because we've talked about a lot of pros who have been in the game since the start and where they've gone. And I think Cookser's journey is one that, we'll definitely keep an eye on. I will say though, his time in Wolves was really nice, because I got to see him take down Top Chokes in the best reverse sweep ever. So very happy about that. That leads us to our next topic, which is the off season, where we're going to make some early off season predictions in terms of North America and Europe. What are you guys expecting to happen here? As you know, the championships is happening very soon. We're going to see a lot of shakeups for sure, because we've already seen some happen.
I'll let you start, TBates. Go ahead.
I mean, I think I'd like G2 potentially. I think even with Drizz, I don't even know if Drizz is in like a good spot per se, because even if they win, it might just be like they might feel like they just won based off of other teams having a bad week or something along those lines. So I feel like G2, because anybody in America is in like the top 6-ish range, I'd probably go try to make that move for Daniel. So that would be a thing. In EU, I believe Vitality probably makes a change if they don't perform in championships, especially. I mean, they just can't beat BDS, and there's just so much you could take. And I know K-Dop, he got that dog in him. He want to win, and the moment that his team, Gale Force, Dignitas, started losing, then he was back. They just back. He immediately like just took himself out of the situation and put himself on a team that he liked being on, a team that could win. And so I got like those two teams being the biggest. I don't really see like FaZe making a change unless AJ were to leave. I don't think that would really ever happen. So I got like G2 and Vitality being like the two teams to make a roster switch.
Me, there's been talks. I can see Rogue making one. I can see G2 making one. I can see FaZe making. I actually see FaZe making it. He said there's this distinct difference between the number 1 and the number 6 team. FaZe wants to. They're winners, bro. They want to win, and assuming that they would want to make a roster move for obviously a better pickup on one of the players in the roster, try to get a different matchup so that they can find their way into that top 4, top 3 range. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to just try to mix up and go for tryouts. That's in North America. In Europe, it's definitely Vitality is the big name here. I think Solary could make a roster move. I could see Astral honestly leaving. I want to see a player like a Chronic, somebody that I hype up a lot, get picked up if the BS Plus is not gonna stick. Liquid, I could see making a roster move, or even just they haven't made any efforts on, or not efforts, but any word on dropping the roster. So I definitely could see Liquid making a roster move. Wolves has made one. I just think like every single roster is just there's one target, and the target is BDS. I think Guild and BDS and Queso are like the 3 rosters that are like 100% solidified. I feel like that are gonna stick, but everything else is up to chance. I think Dignitas might make a roster move as well. Yeah. I think roster mania is about to be insane.
Yeah, starting with Europe, definitely if we even just start like top 12, I could see White Demons making a change. I think SK probably sticks together. We already know Endpoint dropped Virtuoso, and I think Galaxy. I don't know if Galaxy actually made a change or not yet.
Well, Arju is on that racer team, so
right. So if that works out, then Arju would drop out of Galaxy Racer. Dignitas, would not be surprised if Dig makes a roster move at all, especially from the way Violent Panda's teammates have been acting. Giants need a third. I think right now they have their sub playings, and so either Steak and Itachi go different directions, or they pick up a third there. Solary, I feel like Solary finally, like the way they ended up performing recently, I think they'll play. I don't know. I could see them sticking. I could also see them changing because Astro may just want to be on a better team. But in terms of them, obviously I see BDS sticking, see Gil, and even Queso. Queso have had a really interesting tournament or a really interesting season. But definitely see Vitality making a swap, and I definitely see Top Blokes making a swap in that top six. For NA, honestly, probably Envy, probably Rogue, probably G2. FaZe, I'm not too sure about. I'm not too sure about FaZe. FaZe is weird. They're too weird for me to like predict. And I think Shopify honestly stick. In terms of those top 7. That's just how I feel about like all those overall. I think there's always a top in North America. There's always a team in the top 4 that makes some wild change to be number 1. Like I know we saw NRG with the turbo for Squishy, and who knows what we end up seeing next year. Rogue obviously picked up First Killer, and then they swapped out Kronovi for Taroko, but that was like a mid-season change. So I think there's definitely I think that we definitely have some room here for a lot of shake-up potential. We'll see after championships, which I think will take us to championships. Let me see. Yep, it'll take us to championships. With the RLCS X championships next week, we want to know from everybody else here in terms of preparation for teams by Tuesday. We're trying, as you know, champs is starting up soon. We've already seen the brackets. If you haven't, we do have those graphics. Maybe we should probably just flash them on the screen, to be honest. But you can see the European bracket here. We went through them with CJ earlier, and I think we ourselves will go over them next week, where we get together for our final show. And then, of course, if you look at the North American bracket coming up, you also kind of know what's going to happen. G2 plays FaZe, SSG plays Rogue in the top quarterfinals. But for you guys, which teams do you think are going to be most prepared for when championships get started?
In North America, I got NRG, Space Station, and G2 as the most prepared teams to play in that. I think those rosters are going to be rosters that two of those 3 rosters I definitely think will be in the grand finals. And just because I feel like they're grinders. I feel like MV has been falling off. They've been slipping. As much as TBates has been trying to fix that roster, be the little mechanic and try to get Atomic on the Finnick. I think, I just think MV is gonna struggle coming up with that. And then on the European side of things, I mean, the obvious BDS and the obvious Guild. Those are the only 2 rosters I see actually doing something in the EU. I think Vitality is super shaky. Queso has a chance to peak and take down BDS, but I don't see it happening, especially when BDS has been so consistent when things are super important. So
I got most prepared. I do take like the week-long trip into account. That had a lot of pros on it. And with the teams that didn't have it, I mean, Garrett, you already know energy is always going to be prepared, so that's a given. BDS extras talked about it. Even if there isn't a LAN or anything like that, it's tough for them to play, but they're still professionals, still world class, and they're always going to show up. So I definitely got both of those too. For Envy's preparation, I'm not too certain on. They don't really personally want to play ranked, but nobody really wants to play ranked or anything like that anymore at the moment. So yeah, take that into account. But G2 is hungry as well. I got G2 definitely. They've probably even been putting some work, and Chicago might even just be picking the brains of First and Garrett as they're playing together on for IWO, and then might even try to implement some of that into their game plan coming into the championships next week. But that's just my feeling on it in terms of what actually will happen. It really depends on how teams approach scrims this week and going to come working their way up to Tuesday. Whatever teams actually change their scrims or try to incorporate the 2 best-of-7 sets or the best of 3 best of 7 or the best of 3 best of 5 into their scrims will definitely be the most prepared. I don't know how many of these teams actually want to do that. Some of them probably feel that that's too much Rocket League anyways, and that might limit the amount of teams they can play in a day. Like rather than playing 3 teams, they're going to play one, especially if they go all the way, or two. Like that opens up a lot of gaps in terms of scrim planning. But that would definitely have a major effect, and that I can see NRG really wanting to implement that. Envy, I'm not too sure on. And GT, I also feel like they want to do that as well. EU, Gregan, is Gregan Coach Guild?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gregan's gonna definitely get Guild to do some of those in some point in time, because just the way he coaches and the way they're gonna prepare. And I already know Noli and them boys definitely gonna want to be at the top of the level. So that's what it comes down to. Because next week, as much as it's gonna be based off of skill, it's definitely going to be a war of attrition and how much you can actually play and compete and stay mentally focused. It's not going to be easy. It's not really going to be too many lapses of gameplay, and you're just going to have to go. I don't even know how long the break is between a set. So if the break's only 5 minutes, it's not even really a lot of time to prepare yourself. You just got to go right back into it, especially if you lose a best of 7. You play another one, goes all the way to 7 again. That's a lot of toll on the mental.
You think for them for prepping they like have like longer scrims, like probably because what's like the average scrim time, like an hour,
45 minutes to an hour.
So you probably think they would go like 2 hours now instead, because
I think that would be useless. It really they would have to legit set series, because right now scrims are just, as Raul said, an hour, and like it's just games. And even in my opinion, I don't even know how that helps in the first place. But it's like you're just playing games. It's not like a set goal you're going forward to. But for this, I feel like a lot of these coaches, Chrome and everybody else in between, they're gonna have to corrupt the G. They're gonna have to set, like, you're playing for the first of 4. We're gonna take a 5-minute break or 5-6 minute break. Then we're gonna play another best of 4. It's first of 4 again, just to really set that mindset and get their teams prepared. Because this is a whole, nobody's ever done this before. Well, besides you, and like your skirmish is bad. Like this level, the top level, it's not just they haven't played this, so it's definitely gonna be a factor. And it would have been cool to like get some coaches on and ask about how they plan on preparing. But it'll be that. But just going on pure professionalism, I think it'll be those teams I named. FaZe will probably try as well.
Maybe we'll get some interviews and get answers from players themselves on how they prepped for it.
Yeah, I remember when we were on vacation, I was talking to Reynolds and Gyro, and they were like, "Yeah, championships happening, but Dash skirmishes got me ready." that was a fun little callback. Oh, that's definitely a good little callback. I think that, you know, some of the players who have like seen what this looks like before, it definitely will be a little different, and they'll have to make some changes to prepare. But actually, yeah, I don't really see any buts. I just think that they just have to make some changes to prepare, to be honest. Teams that I can almost guarantee, you know, Vitality is going to be ready. BDS, Guild, Solary. Honestly, I feel like every team in Europe is going to have those preparations except Top Blows. I'm just... except Top Blows.
That's just disrespectful to Rams.
Age on top Blows.
They're all good. Oh, that's just disrespectful. Poor Rams. He didn't ask for that. You're making them look bad. All coaches are.
Well, I think
all teams are going to try to prepare accordingly.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's certain teams that are going to want it a little bit more than other teams, and that's why I say they're going to be more inclined to participate or even trial the different way of scrimming this week, even if it has to be your first 2 scrims of the day or the regular old same old, and then your last scrim, you swap that to the best of 3, best of 7, best of 3, best of 5. That just anything like that, just to get that taste, that sense of it. It's like preparing for the ACT or something along those lines. You don't just, unless you're a genius, you don't just show up. Or like the LSAT, MCAT, you have to prepare for that. You have to mentally get used to that mental torture. And if you're not there, then you're gonna falter.
That's true. That is true. For NA, only team I think I'm really worried about is the Machine. I don't know.
I feel like team you're worried about not being prepped.
Yeah. That being said, Mitch was on vacation. Like, I remember we hang out. He'd be on his phone like, Man, I just want to play twos, man. Just want to play twos.
That what he was saying?
Yeah. It was a couple of them like that. It was him, Arsenal. I remember they would walk in the room and Miss would be like, man, I want to play twos, man. Arsenal's like, Miss, ready to run up twos when we get back? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm going to be a grinder, man. So, you know,
hey, talk is talk, though. Talk
true.
is cheap. Hey, Nick, I got to see you in the twos lobbies, Nick. Bro, missed on like 7 hours. He's just hard carrying twos. He's hard carrying twos. That's just natural talent. But I got to see him on a grind, because if he's on a grind, then Envy, we can have back in the good old days where I had TBates having his top 5 list and Miss was at number 2. And that's what I want to see out of Envy. Like, that's the grind. That's the dog I want to see. That's the Envy that we expect, but we might not get, unfortunately.
It's pain. A lot of pain.
As long as Envy performs tomorrow, I'm not really concerned about Envy. I just don't think they're going to prepare like the other teams prepare, but they'll always be ready. Especially for championship. They'll get the hours up.
Oh, God. We'll see. We'll see if Team Envy can get those hours up in time. Like we said, part 2 of IWL qualifiers is happening tomorrow, and we know that at least for NA. I'm not really sure on the dates for everyone else because it is a little bit spread out based on regions. But Envy will be playing in that, and of course, like I said, coming up championships time, we will see which of these teams are going to be ready. Still a lot of questions in terms of things to prepare for, and of course we haven't even made our predictions yet on how the bracket is going to work yet, so that'll all be in for next week, which gives us to our final topic of the show, which is come next week, because we're gonna have a super huge first touch episode coming on next Monday. I don't know if we want to hype it up, leave a little teaser or anything. Probably not. But
on the DL.
But we are getting ready to close out, guys. This was definitely one of the more interesting shows. A slow news week for sure, because a lot of stuff wasn't happening. I know, a lot of us who were either playing IWO quals or on vacation, whichever one was that. But we're about to get ramped up once again. We got one more show, First Touch, coming up next week. Before we go, I want to hand it off to these two guys. Anything you guys want to say before we close out?
No, I have nothing to say other than thank you for watching. Thank you too for being here and discussing and arguing with me. TBates, I'm looking at you on my screen. I appreciate you, even though we get into it sometimes. I don't always agree with you, but it's okay. It's all love. It's all love at the end of the day. I love doing the show, and yeah, can't wait for next week. We gotta keep it on the DL though. Quiet. Hush.
I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. I kind of got loud. I felt like I was on one of Johnny's things with Stumpy, and I just never disagreed with these two more than did today, because they felt like they were making no sense. But that was a while ago. So, but yeah, I hope it was entertaining for the most part. And next week we're gonna have a whole bunch of guests and everything else in between for championship. It's championship week next week, and it'll be pretty exciting. So make sure you tune in, because you're gonna see hopefully a whole bunch of people that you never thought you'd see on the screen before.
Yeah, that's definitely true. A lot of stuff happening soon. Be sure to tune in. Of course, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This was definitely one of the more interesting ones. Like I said, we get into it. We got into it today. It was definitely one of those where we got into it. We didn't even expect to get into it. So, but like Roll just said, it's all love, and we will be back next Monday to close out the final show here for our first season of First Touch. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next Monday. Peace. Much love to you.